Good morning, everyone. My name is Anissa Barton-Thompson, and I'm the social media specialist for the College of Extended and International Education here at California State University, Dominguez Hills. I'll be your host for this presentation. Welcome. Now, feel free to download the CSUDH OSHA Training Institute Education Center Program Information Kit for details about the program and additional resources covered in today's webinar. The address is bit.ly/CSUDH-OSHA-info kit. We have provided a link in the chat for those who are participating live with us. It will also be available via follow-up email to attendees as well as on our website. With that being said, let's take a quick look at today's session. We'll begin by meeting our OSHA director, Mr. Raul Guzman, who will introduce you to the program via an overview of OSHA training standards, benefits, expectations, and other key details. Now to lead off our session, I'm turning it over to you, Raul. Take it away.
Thank you, Anissa. So why are we here? Why does OSHA exist? Well, we're here because on an annual basis, we average about 4,500 fatalities each year in the workplace. Every day, we have 12 people that die in the US. And a more staggering statistic would be that nearly 3 million serious workplace injuries and illnesses are reported each year. And that's not even accounting for the injuries and illnesses that are not reported. So some facts about the OSHA Education Center. So there are 26 centers in the country under the U.S. Department of Labor, OSHA, and we are tasked with the responsibility of educating employees and employers when it comes to occupational safety and health. We're basically part of a national network of nonprofit organizations that have a non-financial cooperative agreement with OSHA. And basically we're authorized to deliver OSHA numbered courses. So approximately 50 different courses are offered throughout the year, 50 different courses. And then we have 2 certificate programs that are offered by OSHA, which I'll cover in a slide moving forward. What I want to do is I want to show you the structure of OSHA. And the reason I like to do that is because I like to illustrate how the OSHA education centers are part of the structure of OSHA. And if you look at towards the bottom, we fall under under OSHA's Directorate of Training and Education. And we are lateral in importance to a regional office. And I'm sure everyone's familiar with a regional office. Regional offices are basically the ones that are responsible for enforcing standards, for issuing citations. And here in California, we obviously have one regional office, and we are part of Region 9. So as an OSHA Education Center, we are responsible for providing training throughout Region 9. And Region 9 is comprised of Arizona, California, Guam, Hawaii, and Nevada. And currently, we have locations throughout California. We have a location in Hawaii, and we have a location in Nevada as well. So industries that are industry related to OSHA, right? So basically everyone's covered by OSHA. So whether you're in construction or you work in manufacturing, you work in oil and gas, healthcare industry, facilities maintenance, maritime, food processing, warehousing, agriculture, motion picture, entertainment industry, automotive, basically everyone is covered by OSHA. And often people ask me, Raul, what standards apply to me, right? So I've kind of highlighted, if you notice my slide, I've highlighted construction, I've highlighted maritime and agriculture. And the reason I've highlighted those is because those industries have specific standards. And so if you're not part of one of those industries, then you basically fall on what we call the general industry. So you fall under the general industry standard. So subtopics related to our training, and this is what's covered in our training, right? General construction standards, we cover process safety management, hazardous waste, hazardous materials. We cover regulations related to healthcare, entertainment industry, hospitality, industrial hygiene, accident investigation, ergonomics, fall protection, confined space, respiratory protection, cranes and heavy equipment, trainer courses, trainer authorizations, risk management, and ergonomics. This is just an example of the different subtopics that we have. Obviously, there's hundreds of different topics that are covered in our courses, but just to give you an idea, some of these topics are the ones that are covered in our training. So I mentioned earlier that OSHA offers 2 different certificate programs, and that would be the Public Sector Safety Certificate Program. And OSHA has 2 different ones. We have construction and we have general industry. And so obviously, if you work in the construction industry, you want to complete the construction, vice versa, general industry. But I'll tell you, in many cases, people complete both. And the reason is because sometimes you work for a general industry in the general industry sector, such as, for example, refineries, right? But then in the refinery, they'll be managing construction activities. And so they have to be familiar with construction standards as well. And so those are the 2 certificates that come directly from OSHA. In addition to those certificates, Cal State Dominguez Hills offers 8 different certificate programs. So we have the Advanced Safety and Health Certificate, Certified Safety and Health Official, Healthcare Safety Technician, Occupational Safety and Health Manager, Refinery Safety Technician, and our Hospitality Health and Safety Certificate. Now, you're probably asking yourself, hey, you said you guys offer 8. I only see 6 different badges. And the reason why that is because we offer two different types for advanced safety and health. We have the general industry and we have the construction. Same thing for the Certified Safety and Health Official. We offer 2 tracks. We offer the general industry track and we offer the construction track. The other question that people ask often is, well, where do I start, right? And so that depends on your level of experience. And so if you are an individual that don't have any experience in occupational safety and health and you're looking to get into this type of work, so you would want to focus on the Advanced Safety and Health Certificate. And that has 7 courses that are required to complete that certificate program. You can complete that in as little as 2 months. It could take you 4 years. It just depends on how much time you want to work on it, right? But any of these certificates can be completed in as little as 2 months. Now, if you're an individual that has over 5 years of experience overseeing safety, you probably want to complete the Certified Safety and Health Official Certificate. And the reason why we recommend that you do that is because that certificate has nationwide recognition. We're starting to see that the certificate written on many job descriptions and contracts. And so this certificate is offered by all of the 26 centers throughout the country. Now, obviously, if you work in healthcare, you want to start with the healthcare safety technician, and vice versa. If you work in refinery, you want to start with the refinery safety technician certificate. So yes, currently all of our courses are being offered through video conferencing. And I'll be honest with you, at the beginning, I wasn't a big fan of video conferencing. I always thought that face-to-face was the better experience, but I'll tell you, we've spent months looking at video conferencing and looking at the different types and capabilities that are offered. And so we feel that video conferencing offers, I would say, 95 to 99% of what face-to-face offers. And the reason why is because we actually have our instructors come to a classroom here at Cal State Dominguez Hills. We've taken the time to stage a classroom, and we have various cameras. So if we need to show a respirator, we have one type of camera. If we need to show a book or a document, we have a different type of camera. And so if we need to write on the board, then we use a different camera. And in addition to that, we are mailing hard copy materials to all of our students that register in advance. And so that's another thing that I want to focus on, is that if you are registering for these courses, you do want to register in advance. And I would say at a minimum, you want to try to register 2 weeks in advance. Worst case scenario, register a week before. But yes, video conferencing is working great. It's been well received by many of our students, and we're getting a lot of compliments about the training. So that brings me to our faculty team. And so none of this would have been possible without the support of our instructors. And our program has 35 plus instructors who are subject matter experts in the different areas that they work in. And they all have excellent credentials related to the industry that they work in. And some of the areas of expertise, we have people that work on construction projects, high rises, hospitals. We have instructors who are merchant marines that work at the port. We have individuals who supervise diving operations. We have instructors with military deployment background, water treatment plants. We have instructors who have oil and gas experience. We have instructors who are retired firefighters. We even have Cal OSHA compliance officers, and we have retired Cal OSHA compliance officers who work in our program. And last but not least, we also have instructors with law enforcement background. So as you can see, our faculty team has extensive knowledge in occupational safety and health. So the other thing that OSHA education centers are known for is the outreach training program. So we are responsible for overseeing this program in Region 9. And as I mentioned before, Region 9 is comprised of California, Nevada, Arizona, Hawaii, and Guam. And so part of our responsibility is to authorize trainers to become OSHA authorized trainers. The different types of authorizations that we have is we have one in construction, we have a general industry, we have maritime, we have disaster site worker. And then if you complete a construction one, you can also apply for a Cal OSHA endorsement. And we also have a general industry trainer endorsement, but you have to have at least 1 year of experience working with Title VIII. And so what are the requirements? The requirements is that you have to have 5 years of experience overseeing safety. Now, we're only talking about becoming an authorized trainer, right? So you don't have to have 5 years of experience to participate in our program or to complete one of our certificate programs. This is only if you want to become an OSHA authorized trainer. And so the other thing I want to point out is that having experience being safe or following safety requirement does not count towards the 5 years of experience. We also don't pre-qualify individuals. So you do have to take the standards course first. So a standards course could be an OSHA 510 for construction or an OSHA 511 for general industry. You have to take that course first, and then you submit your prerequisite verification form. And at that point, we determine whether or not your experience qualifies for the 5 years of overseeing safety in the industry that you work in. So in addition to providing training in Region 9, we're also responsible for supporting national emphasis programs. And so an example of a national emphasis program would be the National Safety Stand Down. And the last time we held this campaign in 2019, we had 3 million workers who participated. This is one of the campaigns that has a lot of impact in the industry. And we also offer what's called the quarterly update. And quarterly updates post-COVID-19, we were doing these every 3 months. And we're in the process of starting those back up beginning of next year. And those will probably be done through a video conferencing modality. So another way that we support our region is by hosting Pacific Coast Safety Fest. During this event, it gives us an opportunity to offer courses at a reduced price. Last year, we did them at $25. So a course that normally would cost $275, the price was only $25. We are going to be doing these courses at no cost for Pacific Coast Safety Fest. So program statistics. So I mentioned before that, that OSHA offers 50 different courses in occupational safety and health. Well, in addition to those 50 courses, California State University Dominguez Hills offers an additional 30 courses. So altogether, the OSHA Education Center here at Cal State Dominguez Hills offers over 80 different courses in occupational safety and health. And then I mentioned before that OSHA has 2 different certificate programs. Well, Cal State Dominguez Hills has 8 different certificate programs that are unique to this center. In addition to those certificate programs, we schedule approximately 220 courses per year. We have about 3,600 students who participate each year in our program. And out of those 3,600 students, we have about 400 of them who earn a certificate. And then lastly, we issue about 36,000 completion cards. Now, many of you may know these cards as an OSHA 10 or an OSHA 30. And so these are the cards that are issued by the individuals who become OSHA authorized trainers. The OSHA Education Centers do have industry recognition. And as I mentioned before, we're starting to see certificate programs. We're starting to see courses listed on job descriptions. We're starting to see those listed on contract requirements. We see them written on state laws. An example of that would be the recent law that was passed for the cannabis industry, where they have a requirement to have 1 employee, at a minimum, 1 employee and 1 supervisor complete a 30-hour Cal OSHA course. That's a recent law that was approved. And then even government contracts require these trainings. And if you look at the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, specifically the EM 385-1-1 regulation, calls out for the completion of some OSHA Education Center courses for people that have the responsibility of overseeing the safety of others. So on-site training. So in addition to the courses that we offer as an open enrollment, we have the ability of offering any type of course on-site related to occupational safety and health. And so whether it's training your managers or even completing required compliance training for your employees, we have the capability of doing that. And typically, if we are training 15 or more, we can be very competitive in terms of price. So if you have questions related to that, we have information on our website. You can also contact me directly, and we'll have that information on a future slide. How do you get started, right? How do we get started? So I would say the first thing is you want to go to our website. On our website, you're going to find schedule information. You're going to find the cost of the courses. You're going to find the process to register. You're going to find dates. You're going to find prerequisite information. You're going to find forms that are needed. So everything that you need is going to be on our website. If you have questions about, hey, what courses do I need to complete to earn the certificate? All of that information is on our website. Obviously, if you have specific questions, we are available. And I would say the fastest way of getting a hold of us would be through email. So if you send us an email, we are pretty good at responding, and we are required to respond within 24 hours. That's our goal, to try to respond to students within 24 hours. So here's the registration process, and it's easy. All you have to do is call. That's the number listed, 310-243-3741. Hit option 1, okay, and then you'll get in contact with one of our registration attendants. They will register for whatever course you want. You make payment over the phone, and it's done. It's a simple process. Contact information for us: if you have general information questions, you would contact 310-243-2425. And we also have a general email, which is OSHA@CSUDH.edu. If you have questions regarding the program, or you're looking for program advising, you would contact our program coordinator, Kathy Rojas, and her extension would be 2425, and her email is kathyrrojas14@csudh.edu. And lastly, if you have questions about our program, you have concerns about our program, if you have questions about contract training or on-site training, you would contact me, and my number is 310-213-7300, and email address would be rguzman@csudh.edu.
All right, so at this point, we've covered a lot of detail about the program, but we also want to continue to encourage potential students and current students to actively participate in our student communities, both on Facebook at facebook.com/CSUDH OSHA, and on our LinkedIn page, linkedin.com/company/CSUDH OSHA. There's also a LinkedIn group. And by all means, please make sure that you sign up for the mailing list to get all of the latest training schedules, event updates, all kinds of information regarding OSHA and OSHA training at California State University, Dominguez Hills. Okay, so at this point, we've covered a lot of details, and now it's time to hear what questions you have for us. So let me start off with a question from Brenda Banuelos, who asks, I would like to know if you have a set curriculum for certification Train the Trainer, and if so, how do you obtain a certificate? What is the process? And she's mentioned that she took an OSHA 5119 class, but is looking for how to get the details for a certificate or proof of class requirements and so on.
So I think there's a couple of questions in there. And so the first one, it says, how do I obtain a certificate for Train the Trainer? And so I think that would be one of our trainer authorizations. And as I mentioned before, we have construction, we have general industry, maritime, and disaster site. And so let's just take, for example, I'm going to use the number that she provided there, OSHA 5119, which is general industry. And so if she was interested in obtaining that authorization, she would first have to complete OSHA 511, which is general industry standards. And then she would submit her prerequisite verification form, where it states that she has 5 years of experience overseeing safety in general industry. And then we would provide her with an authorization number, and she would be able to register for a general industry trainer course. And after she completes those 2 courses, and the fact that she's already completed 5119 would give her the federal authorization as a trainer in general industry, and then it would give her the Cal OSHA endorsement. So she would be able to teach 4 different courses. She would be able to teach 10-hour general industry, 30-hour general industry, and then she would be able to teach 10-hour Cal OSHA general industry and 30-hour Cal OSHA general industry. So I think that was part 1 of her question. Mm-hmm. Part 2 is I took a class 5119, no certificate or proof of class hours given. So I'm not sure when you completed that course. In normal circumstances, right, post-COVID-19, our turnaround time to issue a certificate to a student would be 10 business days. So right now it's looking more like 15 business days to issue you a certificate. So if for some reason you took one of our classes and you haven't gotten a certificate for that, send us an email, osha@csudh.edu, and we'll get a certificate out to you.
That's excellent. And then along those lines, I see a question from Pedro Montoya who asks, is there a time frame in order, a maximum amount of time to complete a certification? Are there time limits, restrictions, and things like that?
So I wanna make it very clear that these are not certifications. Okay, these are certificate programs, and so yes, there is a time limit, and what we give people is we give them 5 years to complete a certificate program. Now, it doesn't take that long to complete a certificate program. As I mentioned earlier, if somebody was very motivated to complete the certificate program, and if the schedule aligned with their interest, somebody can complete a certificate program as little as 2 months, right? But I would say the average time that people take is about 5 to 6 months to complete a certificate program, knowing that they are working, that there's a family, and I would say 6 months is a reasonable time.
That's excellent. And then when you complete certain training, say, for instance, the HAZWOPER, training for trainers, training for authorized training, who issues that certificate resulting from those courses? Is it from the trainer specifically? Is it from CSUDH? Is it from OSHA? Where does that come from?
Okay, that's a good question. So, well, we have OSHA courses and we have CSUDH courses, right? And so how do you tell which one's which? So if you look at the title, all of the OSHA courses are going to start with the word OSHA, and it's going to have a number. That's how you know if it's an OSHA-sanctioned course, right? And so when you complete that course, you're going to get a certificate from Cal State Dominguez Hills. It's going to have the OSHA Education Center logo on that certificate. If it's a CSUDH course, for example, the HAZWOPER trainer course, that's a CSUDH course, you're going to get a certificate from California State University Dominguez Hills that says that you've completed 40 hours in the area of hazardous waste to become a trainer.
Hector Garcia asked a similar question. It's related. Are there other certs besides the CSHO that's offered or recognized nationwide?
So as far as the ones that we offer, as far as the ones that Cal State Dominguez Hills, OSHA Training Institute Education Center, as far as the ones we offer, I would say that would be the only one in terms of occupational safety and health. Now, I say it's the only one, right? And I don't want to sit here and tell you that all of our other program certificates have nationwide recognition or are recognized throughout California, simply because I don't have those stats. Okay, but that doesn't mean that a company like Clark Construction isn't accepting one of our other certificate programs, for example, the Advanced Safety and Health Certificate. Okay, I just don't have that data. But I do have data for the CSHO certificate program, and we know for a fact that it's recognized nationwide.
Chris Kidder asks, are the OSHA numbered courses only available on the dates listed, or is there some kind of a go at your own pace option?
Good question. So no, the courses are only offered on the dates that are listed on our website.
If they wanted to register for a class, but the class is canceled, what happens in terms of scheduling for the next year? How frequently do the classes come up again? Can it be requested? What happens in that case?
So I would tell you it takes a lot for us to cancel a course. We normally don't cancel courses. Okay, if we cancel a course, it's because we don't have at least 3 students who are interested in taking the course. Our cancellation criteria is pretty low, I would say, because we only require 3 students. So if we cancel a course, that means we only have one or two who are interested. But courses, for the most part, are offered at least twice a year. Okay. Some courses are offered 8 times a year. Some courses are offered 6 times a year. It just depends on the course. But at a minimum, I would say that every course that we offer is offered twice a year.
And speaking of the courses, I notice we get a lot of questions about how do courses fit into, say, multiple certificates? Can you actually take one course and have it count towards others? And in the process of doing that, I'm going to let you talk about that, but I'm also going to switch the screen so that you can see the overlapping courses chart as well.
You know, we consider our certificate programs to be stackable certificates. And so as Anissa is showing on the screen, you can utilize any of our courses, okay, a particular course, you can utilize that in many certificate programs. So for example, if you look at the screen and you look at on the left-hand side where it says OSHA 521 towards the top, right? OSHA 521, that's a course that can be applied towards 5 different certificate programs. So in simple terms, right? You can double dip and triple dip.
Is a student allowed to actively pursue multiple certificates at once, or do they have to be staggered?
Oh, no. Students can work on all the certificate programs they want at the same time. So okay. You don't have to apply for the certificate. You don't have to notify us. You can develop your own plan as far as what you want to complete. The only time you have to notify us is when you say, hey, I've completed all the courses for this certificate program, and I would like to have the certificate sent to me. At that point, what we do is we review your transcript, we confirm that you have completed all the courses, and then we issue the certificate.
Okay. And there's a question from Julian, who is a HAZWOPER trainer and wants to know, do I issue certificates to the students directly, or should I partner with CSUDH to issue certificates to my students?
So the HAZWOPER trainer program, right, or trainer certificate, it doesn't work like the trainer authorizations that OSHA has. When you're an authorized OSHA trainer and you go and conduct training, you report that training to us through a portal, then we issue student completion cards, right? OSHA 10, OSHA 30. When you obtain the certificate, for example, for HAZWOPER trainer, that's completely on you. You issue your own certificates. You don't report to us. The responsibility is on you. We're simply helping you fulfill the requirement of having some sort of formal education to be able to turn around and conduct this type of training. That's what the purpose of the certificate program is.
Other educational institutions are offering hybrid courses, classwork, online, and in-person hands-on training. Has this particular OTIEC, OSHA Training Institute Education Center, considered this option? And I would love to see a forklift and aerial lift train the trainer course.
So yes. So the answer is we are looking at a blended model. Okay. So the only reason why we are not offering in-person training is because the university has decided not to engage in face-to-face training. Okay, that's the only reason. Okay. As far as having a plan and as far as the capabilities of doing something like that, we are way ahead of the curve, and we have a plan to do that. Our plan does not look like a blended model where you come for a portion and then you do a portion on your own. What we're looking at is, because we're realizing that people love video conferencing. Not everyone, okay? But there's a large number of people that love video conferencing training. But then there's also a big portion of people that want to come and have a face-to-face class. So our plan is going to be in fall 2021 to be able to have people who want to do video conferencing continue to do video conferencing, and then people that want to come would come to the class, but we're going to have to limit our capacity to 12 people per classroom. So we're basically cutting our capacity by half, but we feel it's going to be okay because there's still a large number of people that want to do video conferencing. So our classroom is already staged to be able to do both, to be able to have students here in the class and to be able to have people through video conferencing. That's what our blended model is going to look like.
I'm going to shift back to the course instruction questions. Stefano Pellegrini asks, is there an exam at the end of each course and how is it organized?
So currently only certain courses have a knowledge test. Just so you have a quick idea of which ones are they, it's what we call the 500 series courses. So 500, 501, 510, 511, those have required exams. They are pass or fail, okay? And the rest of the courses, the grading policy is basically 100% attendance. Obviously, if somebody isn't doing the work or somebody isn't participating or somebody isn't connected through Zoom or video conferencing, then they wouldn't get credit for the class. But again, to answer your question, only certain classes have required tests, and they are the format is multiple choice.
We got an email from Craig Raley, and I see he's also here in attendance today. He says, my goal is to become an authorized OTI general industry trainer for my company. Do I understand it correctly that I should complete OSHA 511 first and then submit the prerequisite verification form to take OSHA 501 and ultimately OSHA 5119 in hopes to become an authorized trainer? And I know we probably have a lot of similar questions for that.
So the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Remember, you only require 2 courses to obtain the federal authorization, which is 511 and 501. That will get you the federal authorization. If you want to get the endorsement, then you would complete the 5119 on top of that, and then that would allow you to conduct 4 different courses. And the other thing I would say is that just please make sure that you do have the 5 years of experience, if that's what your plan is, before you invest in taking the 511 course. And again, there's even if you don't meet the 5 years of experience, taking 511 is a good investment. I mean, there's a lot of knowledge that you obtain from that course. It's an overview of the general industry standard, so it's a good course.
Nancy Tatum asks, if you have the OSHA 30-hour general course, do you need to have the Cal OSHA 30-hour general if you live and work in California?
Yeah, so no, neither one of those courses is, so again, I think a little bit more detail is needed on the question, but the way I would answer that is that neither one of those courses is required. Okay, nobody's required to have an OSHA 30 or a Cal OSHA 30. They're not required. Your company may require it, or a contract may require it, but that would be, then the question would be for them.
Elisa Martinez asks, city housing inspectors, what courses would you recommend, or is there a particular path that should be recommended for someone in the inspection industry? So
again, I would need more detail on that question, because if is this person looking to become a safety professional, or is this person just looking to obtain more knowledge for them to be safe? Is the follow-up question that I would have for that person. So if this person is looking to transition over to occupational safety and health, then I would say the path that I would recommend is our advanced safety and health certificate. That's the path that I would recommend. Now, if somebody is just looking to, hey, I'm an inspector and I'm exposed to certain hazards out in the field, well, that's a conversation that you would want to have with your employer, because your employer has a requirement to provide training that you need to be able to recognize those hazards and protect yourself.
Julian asks, is there any means to pay for a certification pathway or certificate pathway, like a credit card payment, or what is the approach for that?
So yes, I mean, when you call to register, you would make payment over the phone via credit card. That's one way of doing it. There's also, I'm not sure how many people know this, but every city has a Job Centers of America. And if for some reason you feel that you are currently underemployed, undereducated, or you feel that this certification would help you advance in your career, you can go to these centers and they will qualify you. And people that qualify for this, there are funds through the Workforce Investment Board. In our case, would be the South Bay WIB. And if you contact them and you qualify, they will actually pay for the entire certificate. They will pay for the entire certificate.
Francisca Cruz Bolanos asks, what courses do you recommend to take for wood framing safety? I already did OSHA 30 and fall protection.
So again, the question would be, I'm assuming that this person wants to be a safety professional. And so the path that I would recommend for him would be the Advanced Safety and Health Certificate construction track. And basically that certificate is going to have, it has a large variety of options to choose from, right? So if you're your framing and construction, I would say, yes, fall protection would be a good one. OSHA 510, construction industry standards would be a good class. Respiratory protection, scaffolding class would be great. Excavation class, you've already mentioned fall protection. So those are some of the courses that I would recommend. Industrial hygiene.
Stefano Pellegrini asks, to follow up on an occupational safety career focus, which certificate would be better, the ASH or the CSHO, if you're going into occupational safety career?
Well, so again, you would not be able to complete the CSHO because the assumption is that you don't have 5 years of experience overseeing safety. So you wouldn't be able to complete that certificate program. And so then that puts you back on the Advanced Safety and Health Certificate. That's a great way to put your foot in the door, start in this industry. Now, if you do have 5 years of experience overseeing safety, the recommendation is that you complete the COSHO, right, the CSHO, and simply because that has nationwide recognition.
Craig Rayleigh asks for equipment requirements for some of the courses. It says, is the built-in camera on a laptop not acceptable? And what is the USB cord for?
So it is acceptable, right? You can be taking this class. You can take these classes on a laptop, on a desktop. You can take them on a tablet. I wouldn't recommend a phone, just simply because there's some navigating. You know, sometimes you got to go to a website, you got to pull out a document, but laptop, desktop would be the best, right? And the integrated cameras are perfect. You can do that. The reason for the standalone webcam and the 10-foot USB cord is because that's how we proctor the exam. So okay, we need a second camera to be able to proctor the exam.
I see Nancy asks, can you clarify the second camera? The need for a second camera.
Yeah, so we use a second camera to proctor. That's the way that we use that to proctor the exam. So I don't want to go into details as to how we proctor the exam, because it is it's a little bit of sensitive information of how we do that. But if you can picture, we need to be able to do a 360 of your room, and there's other things that we do to be able to protect the integrity of the exam.
So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and move forward to our next step. Now, we've covered, like I said, a lot of information about the program, but just in case you missed anything, feel free to reach out to us, email us, or call us during our business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can email OSHA@csudh.edu or call 310-243-2425. And when you're ready to take your next steps and get registered, our registration office will be standing by to take your registrations via phone at 310-243-3741, and just press 1 when you hear the music, when you hear the first option. And we just want to say thank you for attending, for participating in our info session. Thank you to Raul Guzman. We want to make sure that you connect with us on our website, on our social media, on our Facebook and LinkedIn pages. And remember to register early to get your spot in your preferred classes. Registration is due about a week before each course is set to begin. We'd love to get your feedback on today's session, so please let us know how we can improve the quality of the information provided by visiting bit.ly/CSUDH-webinar-feedback. Once again, thank you for joining us. Stay safe, and we look forward to working with you soon. Take care, everyone.